Hey friends, I hope you guys all had an awesome Thanksgiving. Today's video is all about cleaning up after the party. There's a lot of cleaning motivation, just getting the kitchen cleaned up after hosting Thanksgiving, and just a little bit of chatting while I do that. So come hang out with me while I clean up this huge mess, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Before I get started on the kitchen, I'm just going to put away these snacks from the night before, just before they get stale. And I'll show you a couple of the products that I'm using just to quickly clean up the living room. We hosted Thanksgiving, as I mentioned in the intro, and it wasn't a huge Thanksgiving. We had maybe 11 or 12 people, I think, but still enough that we made quite a mess, which is fine. We love hosting Thanksgiving. We love having our family over. But I'm going to use this Pledge multi-surface cleaner to wipe down the table. And this I really like because not only is it antibacterial, but it also helps to preserve the wood, and it smells really good too. It has an orange scent, so I really like using that on all of our wood furniture. And I do want to apologize if you hear hissing and rattling in the background. It is because I am currently canning some turkey, so that's the canner making those noises. For the rest of the furniture in this room, I'm going to use the Oust Surface and Air Cleaner. This just disinfects everything, and anytime we have a party where we have a ton of people over, I just like to disinfect. You never know what people are carrying with them. So I'm just going to quickly spray down the couches and wipe them down and spray off the pillows with this. I kind of alternate between this and Lysol Surface and Air Cleaner. Either one does the same thing, so just whichever one I have on hand is what I use for this kind of stuff. So now that this room is all clean, I'm going to move on to the horribly dirty kitchen. So this is what our kitchen looks like the day after Thanksgiving, which, you know what, I love hosting Thanksgiving. We really enjoy doing that. So I'm not mad about the situation, but it obviously needs to be cleaned up. So there's a lot to do in here today. As you can see, we've got tons of dishes to catch up on. I need to unload the dishwasher from last night. That's about as far as I got last night. After people left, I loaded the dishwasher, I put away the food, and at that point, I decided to wait until the next day to clean up. And honestly, I don't know if you just saw the time on the stove. It's a whole lot later in the day than I planned on doing this because I was on the computer all morning arguing with tech support, trying to get something to work. And, you know, then we had someone come over and just all the things. But the dining room's not too bad, just a few extra dishes and things that need to be put away. So I'm gonna focus mainly on the kitchen right now and get this place back in order. This is the remnants of the chocolate fountain that we had, which the kids loved. They were dipping all kinds of stuff in the chocolate fountain, so it was cool for them, but it is like the worst thing ever to clean when you're done. Not just the countertop, I'm talking about the fountain itself. This is it here. This bowl where the chocolate goes does not detach from the unit, so you can't even like put it in the sink to wash it or anything. I was sitting there with wet paper towels trying to wipe it out, and it's still not clean. I'm gonna have to go over it again. But that was annoying. So anyway, fun for the kids, but just be prepared because, you know, here's the rest of it. All the chocolate pieces, chocolate covered pieces of it I had soaking in here overnight, and you can't dump it down the drain because it'll clog your drain. So I have to probably just like throw that outside once I get around to that part. But anyways, enough talking. I need to get to work, and I am going to be here for a while. So hang out with me while I do this. So a couple of things that you'll see me use while I'm cleaning. Number one, the spray bottle. It's filled with a mixture of vinegar and water. It's about half and half. Sometimes I make it slightly stronger with the vinegar, but that is the best cleaning solution I have found for anything in my house, and it is so cheap. I mean, you can get a gallon jug of white vinegar for just a few dollars, and that'll last you forever. This is a bench scraper that I'm using just to scrape the chocolate off of the countertop, and that actually worked really well. But for now, how about you just listen to some music and watch me get to work? So our Thanksgiving traditions have changed over the last few years. We used to travel to other people's houses for Thanksgiving each year. But after my grandparents passed away, we needed someone in my family to host Thanksgiving. And so we volunteered because we have a large house, we have a lot of space for parking. We're kind of centrally located between our out-of-town families. And we just really love hosting parties at our farm. So we've been hosting the last few years, and it's been fantastic because I have food allergies. And so when I go to other places, I can only basically eat what I bring with me. But when we host Thanksgiving, I get to make all the food in a way that I'm able to eat it. So I get to really feast, which is awesome because that is basically the entire purpose of Thanksgiving, is to stuff your face until you can't move, which I certainly did on Thursday, and it was great. So let me take a poll in the comments section. Do you guys clean up immediately after a party, or do you wait until the next morning? For me, I used to be more of a night owl before I got married. I would stay up late and wake up late. But because my husband gets up for work at 4:30 in the morning, I'm up at the same time. And that means that by evening, I'm extremely tired. So I have somewhat turned into, I wouldn't call myself a morning person because I still don't enjoy waking up that early. But I feel like that's when I get the most stuff done, is in the morning, especially before the kids wake up. I don't have any distractions after my husband leaves for work, and I can just get stuff done. I usually have the dishwasher emptied and a couple loads of laundry started before the kids even roll out of bed. So I feel like I just do better in the morning. I also feel like I'm ahead of the game if I get started early in the morning. Like, if I put it off and I wait, I feel like I'm behind, and that just stresses me out. I already feel like I'm behind schedule for the day, and then it's really hard to get motivated to do anything because I just feel like a failure. But I feel like when I get started really early in the morning and I get a couple things done right away, I feel like I'm ahead of the game and I can relax and I enjoy my day a lot better. But I don't know. What about you? Do you guys feel that way? What's your preferred time to clean up? Let me know in the comments. I'll just quickly show you my favorite little scrub brush that I just got from Amazon not too long ago. It comes with this holder to keep the countertop clean, so you can hang it on there. But I love this thing because you can put the soap right in it. So all you have to do is just run the water and the soap's already in it. And you can scrub down those big trays super fast without having to try to fit them into the sink, which they don't fit in. So it just makes life a whole lot easier to have that little scrub brush that I can clean the larger items with while I'm holding them above the sink. So at this point, I'm starting to realize I'm running out of space on the countertop, so I'm gonna have to clear off the stove and start using the stove as a dish drying rack as well. I seem to have that problem when I'm doing dishes, that it takes up like 15 feet of horizontal space. I don't understand like how people can do this in a smaller kitchen. I mean, this is a pretty big kitchen and I still don't have room to put all the dishes where they need to go to dry. But anyways, I'm gonna start cleaning off this stove. And I don't have a little handheld vacuum yet. I would like to get one, but for now I'm just gonna use my Shark Ion. I'll have to look up the exact model and I'll put it in the description box if you're interested in looking for it. But I do love my Shark. I have two Shark vacuums. One is a corded vacuum, which is amazing. I've had it probably over 15 years now and I just love it. It still works really well. And then this one is just a cordless vacuum. I wanted to have something that was just easy to grab and pull around. It's lightweight. And as you can see, you can detach the top and you can just put the little attachments on and use it for smaller jobs if you want. So you can just pop the attachments off and that just pops right back into the stand, or the, whatever you want to call it, you know, the stick that it goes in, that stick thing. Anyways, but it folds up so it doesn't take up much space. You can just stick it in a closet. And so that's what I used for now. But I would love to get a little handheld vacuum. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. I'm looking for something with really good suction that is not going to die on me quickly. So something that lasts and something that has good suction. I'm just using this vinegar and water spray again to clean the stove. Now, I'm not going for perfection here. I basically just wanted to get most of the crumbs up and anything that was actively sticky. Wanted to get that out of the way. And I did just scrub down the grates with just regular dish soap. I just used Dawn dish soap. And just gave them a quick rinse. And again, I'm not going for perfection here because nobody has time for that today. I'm already doing a lot of work. So I am not going to worry about all the crusted on stains that need to be scrubbed on that stove. Again, that's a job for another day. Right now, I'm just trying to get through cleaning up Thanksgiving. So back to the music. So seeing myself wash those two crock pots made me remember, I wanted to share with you how I cook my Thanksgiving turkey. It's a little different from most people, but I do not trust myself cooking a turkey in the oven. Not only would it probably be either dry or burnt or not cooked all the way, but it's just a lot of work having to take it out and baste it over and over again. So what I actually do is we get turkeys from a friend of ours that's local here. They raise turkeys every year. My husband goes over and helps them butcher the turkeys. And so while he's there, he's able to let them know exactly how we want it cut up. And so what I have them do is just cut off the wings, the legs, and the breast meat separately. So it's all in chunks. And I divide it into 2 crock pots to cook it. And that way it stays super juicy and moist. And I also sear it before I put it in the crock pots in that pan that I'm holding right there. I use olive oil, garlic, rosemary, thyme, lemon juice, salt and pepper, and lemon zest. And so what I do is I infuse the olive oil with all of those flavors, and then you strain out all the garlic and the herbs and everything out of the oil. so that you can crank the heat up. You put the oil back in the pan. It's already flavored with those things. And that way you can crank the heat up higher so you can get a nice sear on your turkey. And after you sear it, you put it in the crock pot, and then I add all of that stuff back into the oil. The garlic, the herbs, everything goes back into the oil, and I pour it all over top of the turkeys in the crock pot, so it's just smothered in this flavored oil. It turns out so well, guys. I don't know why anybody tries to cook a turkey in the oven when it tastes so good from the crock pot. So if you want to a more detailed description of that recipe, I believe I did a blog post about it a few years ago, and so I will link that post. I'll put a link to that post in the description box so you can look for that if you want to see the recipe for that. But I'm telling you, it's the best turkey I've ever had. It's amazing. Plus, it frees up your oven and your time to make all the side dishes and everything. You just set it and forget it. You know, I let it go on low for 8 hours, and so you could probably do high for 4 hours too. I think I've done that before when I was running behind schedule. Not that I ever do that. Unless you know me, then you know that that's something I do all the time. But anyways, yeah, so it's really nice to just throw the turkey in the morning, and you know exactly when it's going to be ready. There's no guessing what time it's going to be ready. You don't have to be watching for the little red thing to pop out of your turkey so that you know that it's ready to cook or ready to eat. And plus, if you cook the turkey whole, by the time the thigh meat is cooked through, the breast meat is so dry. It just makes more sense to cut it up and just to cook it in a way that it all cooks together and you can maintain the moisture in all the different parts. So like I said, I'll post that recipe down in the description box. And while I'm thinking about it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and sign up for the notifications so you don't miss anything when I have new content. On this channel, I know most people kind of stick to one thing or one topic. I'm not that kind of person. I like to be a Jane of all trades, if you will. So sometimes you'll get cleaning motivation. Sometimes you'll get recipes. You might get gardening. You might get canning. You might get, you know, raising animals or just whatever I happen to be doing at the time. Organizing, you know, budgeting, anything like that. So I'm not really concerned about sticking to one topic on my YouTube channel. It's just kind of be everything that I do as a mom, as a wife, as a homesteader. And oh, that bowl of food that was for the dogs, that was the turkey bones from the turkey that we had. And here I go again, trying to get all of the chocolate out of this fountain, and it was like all over the sides. And when I flipped it upside down, there was chocolate like inside the little legs that it was standing on, and it was just a mess. I mean, it's great. I'm glad the kids loved it. I'm sure it's going to make another appearance at future parties, but like I said, just be prepared. It is just a pain in the butt to clean that thing, and that's just the base. That's not even all the other pieces that go to it, which are still in the sink. So anyways, I'm glad the kids had fun with it. That's something they'll remember for a long time. And honestly, that's what the holidays are about anyways. When we get together with family and friends, it's just making memories. And so whatever we can do to make the kids happy and give them good memories of their childhood, it's always worth it. So here's another poll for the comments section. What is your favorite Thanksgiving pie? I can never decide what kind of pie I want, so I usually just make a whole bunch of different ones. Last year I did 4 types of pie, I think. I had pumpkin, apple, cherry, and peach pie, I believe. This year we didn't have the peaches because the orchard that we always get our peaches from, they were selling out of peaches like crazy, and it's a long drive for us to get there. So I was kind of waiting for a week or two to see if the rush would finish, and then we could go get our peaches. But then I checked the website and peach season was over. So I kind of missed out on peaches this year. That was a bummer, but we still have some peaches left over from last year that we canned. So we still have peaches there. And I have a ton of peach jam that I made last year too. So the only thing we missed out on were the fresh peaches, which are awesome. Don't get me wrong, but we did not have peach pie this year. So I did a cherry pie, an apple pie, and a pumpkin pie for everyone else to eat. And then with my food allergies, I made myself a pie that was half apple and half cherry because I couldn't decide. But when I say I made myself a pie, I made it in a 9x13 casserole dish, so it's quite a pie. It's definitely the size of at least 2 or 3 pies. So I was not skimping. I have a lot of pie left over, but it was really good. And you know what? It's once a year, and I like to splurge, so don't judge me. But anyways, leave me a comment in the comment section and let me know what your favorite pie is or what your favorite Thanksgiving recipe is. I kind of stuck to mostly classics this year. Sometimes I'll do unique things with the menu just because I like to be different. But this year I pretty much stuck with the usuals. I had turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, gravy. I did some roasted asparagus. We had sweet potatoes. Oh, I tried to make a copycat of like the Texas Roadhouse cinnamon butter. If you've ever been to Texas Roadhouse, I don't know if that's a local place or if it's all over the country. Who knows? But I'm in Western Pennsylvania. We have a lot of Texas Roadhouse restaurants. So they make this cinnamon butter that it's like sweetened. It has sugar and cinnamon mixed in with the butter, and that's what they serve with like their sweet potatoes and things like that. And so I tried to make a copycat of that, which was a little bit challenging because I don't actually know what it tastes like because I'm allergic to milk. So I can't eat their butter at the restaurant. So I was just kind of like guessing, and I had my kids and my husband taste it, and they told me when they thought it tasted good, but they said it didn't taste exactly like Texas Roadhouse butter, but they said it was really, really good. So they're like, don't change it. We like it, but don't call it Texas Roadhouse copycat butter. So I will, if I think of it, I'm kind of scatterbrained today, but if I think about it before I post this, I will put that recipe in the comments below as well. Or not the comments. I'm sorry. Like I said, it's late. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll try and put it in the description box if I remember, which is a big if, considering what my brain is doing right now. But anyways, they really, really liked it. So I think that's going to be a keeper. But other than that, what else did I make? I made myself a gluten-free lasagna with chicken and stuffing mixed in with gravy. And that turned out really good. I've been eating that like every morning for breakfast and since Thanksgiving. What else did we make? Let's see. Well, tons of cookies. My daughter actually baked a lot of cookies. She is the baker in the family. I bake out of necessity because sometimes my husband will request things that he wants to eat. And if I want to have any kind of baked goods, I need to make it myself because I just have too many allergies. So I bake out of necessity, but my middle daughter, she loves to bake. And so anytime we're having a party, I'm like, hey, do you want to bake some cookies? And she loves it. So I was grateful. She baked crinkle cookies and snickerdoodles and just helped out a lot. So Yeah, what else did we have? I feel like there was more food than that. Oh, cranberry sauce. I make my own homemade cranberry sauce. It's actually more like a cranberry relish. I just use a potato masher to mash up the cranberries, and I literally don't use a recipe. I just kind of like play around with it as I go. But I use cranberries, honey. I used ginger and cinnamon and orange zest and orange juice from a fresh orange. And it just turns out so good. Like it's a little bit different every year because I don't actually use a recipe, but it always turns out really good. So literally about 3 hours after I started cleaning up, now the kitchen is finally clean for the most part. I do still have dishes all over the counter, but they're clean dishes this time instead of dirty ones. I scrubbed down the countertops, cleaned out the sink, but I still have like 15 linear feet of dishes all over the kitchen. But I am not taking the time to hand dry every one of these. They can sit there and dry naturally, and I'll put them away later. And I'll give you a little sneak peek of what it looks like later at night after the dishes are put away. Dun da da da! Finally, got my little decorations back on the counter. And as we pan over to the left, I noticed I forgot to put the toaster back out. I always kind of like hide that somewhere during parties so we have more room to put the food out. And the toaster should go right there on the edge of the counter, right next to the light switch. But I forgot to take it out before I filmed. But whatever, I found it now. It's back where it goes. But that is a clean kitchen. That was a lot of work, but like I said, we love hosting Thanksgiving and it was so worth it, and looking forward to next year already. I'm so glad you took the time to hang out with me today. Thank you so much. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I will post a link to as many of the different things that I mentioned as I can down in the description box. So if you want to check out any of the products I showed you or just things that I was using, I will try to link as much as I can down there. So check that out. Don't forget to sign up for notifications so you don't miss any future videos coming your way. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.